Hi there, Libra. This is Carrie Mubarak at wooingnature.life. Hope everything is going well for you. This is your reading for March 2020. All is well, all is good. If you want to know what's going on for at least the first part of the month as far as the moon is concerned, which I highly recommend, go to the full moon view and take a look at the astrological implications for the energy around the full moon coming in. There's some powerful information that you might want to tap into. Great information about gratitude, being in a place of gratitude, and also expanding your view of the harvest. So it's harvest time, it's harvest season. Everything that you've been putting in so far, the energy that you have been connecting to with the moon energy, the new and the full moon, that's why I highly recommend that you do that. Get in sync with the moon, because the moon is going to tell you what energies to tap into, and is going to help boost that and push you forward wherever it applies to you. So go take a look at it. If it resonates with you, if there's something that that you feel connected to there, then you'll want to do your full moon rituals or your full moon activities centered around that, whatever it may be. Some people do rituals, some people don't. Some people just, journal during that time. All of it's good. All of it goes toward the good of the whole, so to speak. So I want you to just connect there. And because there has been ample information coming in about harvest, I decided that I would read from the Money and the Law of Attraction cards, because a lot of times we associate abundance with our money and with our wealth. But I do want us to start making that connection between wealth and actual physical material things. So wealth is not just the material, but it manifests as the material. And so if that's where you're headed, or if that's what you're needing, if you're trying to get your finances together, or if you're having difficulty with your finances, then I want you to start thinking in terms of abundance and what the abundance is for you, okay? And so I like these cards because they don't just deal with money, they also deal with your mind and how you're thinking about money and how you're thinking about your wealth and that kind of thing. So I'm going to be pulling one card from here just to give you some insight and give you some guidance, something to think about. And then I'm going to jump into the Sun and Moon Tarot, because the Sun and Moon, the Moon has been so strong. The information from the Moon is so strong. So let's get a card for Libra from the Wealth and Abundance. There we go. Thank you. All right, so what I'm seeing here, Libra, it says, I am the creator of my own life experience. And I'm seeing the face, the eyes, very, very Libra to me. Libras are always associated with beauty to me. And I'm seeing that the growth is coming from the eyes, or it's going into the eyes, or either out of the eyes, which means that your sight, your foresight, your insight, and what it is that you see is in some ways adding to what it is that you are receiving. So think about your sight, think about what you're looking at, what you have your sights on. And then also what is coming through as a result of that. But it says, I am the creator of my own life experience. And so this is in relationship to your wealth as well. So I'm going to read the information on the back and then we'll go from there. It says, you are the creator of your own life experience. And as a creator of your experience, it's important to understand that it is not by virtue of your action, not by virtue of your doing. It is not even by the virtue of what you're saying that you're creating. You are creating by virtue of your thoughts that you are offering. So thought for you is a focus for the month of March. Think about how you're thinking about your money. Okay, not just what you're saying, not the actions, not the effort that you're putting forward, but your actual thoughts. And let that be the guiding force for you. You cannot speak or offer action without thought vibration occurring at the same time. So whatever it is that you're saying, the thought that's behind it is vibrating with it. However, you are often offering a thought vibration without offering words or action. Children or babies learn to mimic the vibration of the adults who surround them long before they learn to mimic their words, and that's very true. So the information is already coming through. The thoughts are already formulating before they can even be articulated. And if you're having trouble articulating your vision, I know for those of you who are working on projects, who might be pitching ideas or pitching concepts, this goes back to the thought as well. I don't know if anybody has had this experience where they go to pitch an idea to somebody and they feel like they can't quite get it together. That's because there is somewhat of a disconnect, or not necessarily a disconnect. It could be a disconnect, yes, but it could also be just that you're not quite clear. And that lack of clarity comes from thought and words being in synchronicity with purpose and with what it is that you are designed to do and what you're trying to do with your project or with your proposal or with your idea, or even in a relationship situation where you're trying to get across what it is that you're needing in the relationship. That also goes with abundance and wealth too. It's like what you need and what you want, and then what you're giving out. So wherever this applies to you, just remember that you are creating that not just from your actions, but also from your thoughts as well. All right, so let's jump right into the Sun and Moon Tarot. I'm just doing a straight read today. Straight read for me is just seeing what the cards, shuffling the cards, seeing what the cards have to say, and letting the cards guide us from one movement to the next, from one focus to the next, blending the cards together for a final message. And again, I'm using the Sun and Moon Tarot for this just because the moon energy is so very strong right now. It has been strong for the past 3 months. It's probably been strong long before that, but I've been really paying attention to the new moon and the full moon energies that have been coming in since we came into 2020. And there's the shifts that we've been talking about are becoming more evident through the moon, which is a very finite energy. The moon's energy is only around for a couple of days, so it is the shortest influence of all the planets. And so it's very finite energy. We can fine tune with the moon, okay? The other planets that are more slow moving doesn't mean that they're not as powerful. They are as powerful, and sometimes if they're very slow moving planets, they can be very powerful because the turn or the transition it's digging in, you know. All right, so the first card I have is a Five of Wands in reverse. Five of Wands in reverse tells me that there is some conflict. This could be conflict in your thinking. Again, when we looked at this card, the very first card that comes in talks about your vision, what you see and what you hear in your own head, and what you're thinking, and then your actions going from there. So the first thing that pops up in my mind is check your conflicts, your mental conflicts, the things that may be conflicting in your own mind. And to me, whenever I do have a Five of Wands, it always reminds me that your outside conflicts can reflect your internal conflicts too. So whether these are conflicts with people outside of yourself, or whether it's just a conflict that you're having within, even still, if you're looking at outside conflicts, pay attention to the subtle messages that are coming through from this from the interaction, because it may be telling you something about yourself in a conflict that you're having within. So you want to check your conflicts during the month of March. Let's see what else we have here. We have the Tower card showing up. The Tower is usually when you're building on something and it's not quite where it needs to be, and then something happens to kind of throw it off or throw you off. And with this in mind, that can definitely be a factor there. If there is some kind of internal conflict going on between your thought messages and your actions, or your thought messages and your speech, or your thoughts and your purpose, then it will create a tower experience for you, because basically spirit doesn't want you to keep going down the wrong road. That's what the tower is about. You know, it's about an intervening from the spirit, based on, you know, okay, well, I'm doing this thing and I'm headed down this direction and I'm going full force. But meanwhile, if you keep going full force, it's going to be a bigger disaster later. So it's helping you to avoid the disaster. So if things are not going the way that you want them to go, just know that everything is in divine order and you don't have to worry about that so much. I've got two cards coming in next, the Chariot and the Justice in reverse. This to me speaks to the tower experience, just corroborates that for you, letting you know that movement is possible. But first, things have to be in divine order. To me, the Justice card is all about divine order, and then the Tower card happens if things are not in divine order and they just have to come apart and you have to start over again, or you have to go back to the point at which it was still okay, you know. So it may be to go back to a restore point, or it could be that you have to just, you know, scratch the idea and start all over again, whatever it may be. So movement is possible, Libra. Movement is happening and things are happening. It may not be quite what you want the movement to be, but it's movement just the same, and it is to bring order and the right order to your situation. So it might be a little disappointing. You might find that you're having a few disappointments in March with what you're trying to put down and what you're trying to make happen. But don't be discouraged. Just know that, be encouraged by the fact that you're just, that the energy is getting you right in the right place, or putting your situation in the right place. Let's see what else we have for Libra. Oh, that's like a ton of cards, so we're gonna go back. Just one at a time, please. Thank you. All right, so we've got the High Priestess coming in. Go to the spirit. Go to the spirit of what you are working on. Go to the spirit. And again, even if this is something of a business or personal, doesn't matter, business or personal, and that's with all of this. Business relationships can be just as challenging as personal relationships, because business relationships are personal relationships. It's between you and another person. So if it's romance, or if it's business, or if it's marital or whatever, check your conflicts, see where you're headed, see where things are falling apart, and know that the movement is happening to bring the right order to your situation. And ultimately, this is about the spirit. It's about connecting to your own inner sanctum. It's about connecting to that which is designed specifically for you personally. And if you and your partner are in sync, or are properly in sync, then everything will be good. Everything will keep going as it needs to. And you'll know when it happens, because you'll follow the path that you know you need to do individually, and it's going to inform what happens with you and a significant other, whoever that might be. And then after that happens, if the two of you end up on the same page, great. If you end up on a different page, then you have to make your assessment. But just take one step at a time, Libra, and don't try to get ahead of yourself. Ultimately, you've got to get here. You've got to follow your own spirit. You've got to follow your own path. If that creates some kind of conflict, you have to find the balance in between. And when you do find that balance, which ultimately is what it's all about, then you'll see where you are, and you won't have to, you know, have the conflict. You can get past the conflict. It's all good. It's all good. Even when it seems like it's not good, it's all good, you know. Spirit is not trying to trick you. It's not trying to throw you off. It's trying to give you clear messages about what it is that you need to do to move forward with your life. So we've got an abundance card here. Great. I told you everything is not bad, and everything is moving toward the divine end result, the divine result, which is what you are looking for right now, Libra. So we've got the Three of Cups here. Three of Cups represents gatherings. It also represents when things are coming together on the material plane. And then there's the Bible says that there are three which agree in heaven and three which agree on the earth. I equate that to the Star of David symbol, and also to as above, so below. When we send our prayers up, we are asking for Spirit to incline to our prayer, and then give us what it is that we are asking for. But there has to be an agreement in the Spirit for what you're asking, and then there has to be an agreement on the earth and with yourself. Okay, so when we go back to this original card talking about the Five of Wands in reverse, where there are conflicts, it can interfere with the three that agree on earth. So this idea of threes, it's like where two or more are gathered in my name, there will I be also, and then movement can happen. That's what we're talking about with the Chariot. But all of this has to be in order, and these cards tell me that it's not quite in order yet. Things are not quite in order. Could be with the partnership, could be with the idea, could be with how you're thinking about it. It could be just a slight thing that throws it off. But this card is telling me that things are going to come together, that even this information that you're getting right now will help it come together. And so these three, again, could be about partnering. It could be about just the energy of camaraderie, or the energy of all those things which need to come together for you are happening at this time. So don't give up hope about it. This is all a part of the three. It's all a part of bringing what you need, what your part is, or you bringing your part to the table. All right, any other information for Libra for the month of March? Any additional information for Libra for the month of March? All right, so I just have the Queen of Wands in reverse. This is telling me just to try to remain confident in your abilities in spite of the challenges that are happening. Try to remain in your solid position. Keep your head up. Remember who you are. Remember what you're bringing to the table. Remember what your task is. And then let that be your place of confidence, because you don't want to lose confidence in all of this. You don't want to go and give up and say, oh, to heck with it, because I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to get things happening and nothing is moving the way that I want it to. This, again, is a part of the divine plan to get you where you really want to be. Not just where you think you want to be, but where you actually, in your heart of hearts, want to see yourself in the future or in the near future. Okay, Libra? So that is your reading. Very brief, but that is your reading for the month of March. If any of this resonates with you and you want to see how it applies to you specifically, reach out to me. I'll be happy to give you a medicine wheel reading, which is a great reading for understanding you in context with everything else that's going on around you. I am also at this time scheduling full moon readings for from now until March 9th. So if you want to get your full moon reading, or you want to get a medicine wheel reading or a Kabbalah reading, which really allows you to see your spiritual purpose and your material purpose all at one time, reach out to me. My information is in the description box below. As always, I hope you have a great March and you have a fabulous life.